Welcome to our 5 on 5. Pleased to be joined today by Captain Dan Penland, Jackson County Sheriff's Office, retired. Good to see you, Captain. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you for having
Still
me.
call you Captain. Forgive me. You've been retired since Friday. It's been
Yeah.
only a couple days. So a long law enforcement career, wrapping it up in charge of the Jackson County Jail the last few years. Can you give us a rundown, if you will, of all the different roles you've held in your law enforcement career?
Well, I started out as a corrections deputy. Worked for a little while, got laid off during the Spotted Owl. When that came along, I was laid off for 2 years, came back, have been there since. I've been corrections deputy, I've been a shift supervisor, I was the administrative sergeant, I was a lieutenant, I was a captain, EMT, FTO, pretty much any position there I was able to hold it at some point in my career.
Wow, well, that certainly is good experience leading into being captain and commander of the jail.
It was. It definitely prepared me well.
So what's the one thing you wish the public knew about managing a jail?
I think probably the amount of review that is done of the jail, of the internal workings, the use of force situations, how they're reviewed, when inmates make complaints, how they're dealt with, some of the things we have to do to comply with federal laws and things. It's just not as simple as it looks on TV where you shut somebody in a cell and lock the door. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that goes on with each inmate.
How would you describe the situation that the jail's in and the county's in right now?
I'll use the word crisis. Sheriff has used that word also. The jail is right now impacting all of the criminal justice system, and not in a good way. That lack of jail space touches every part of the criminal justice system, makes it more difficult. As you know, it makes it's hard to hold people accountable when there's no punishment involved.
And how frustrating is it for you to repeatedly see the same people coming back in and having to release people maybe you guys don't want to release?
It's very frustrating for me as a jail commander, but it's also frustrating for the staff. They live in the valley, they work in the valley, obviously. Many of them have been victims of crimes, and to see that person come in and then be immediately let out because it's not a high, serious enough crime to do that, it takes a real toll on it. And the people that work there know that it's not the best thing to do it that way, that we're not making releases that are the best options. I mean, we choose the best people we have, but there are no good options.
Okay. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Not much more in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with Captain Dan Penland, Jackson County Sheriff's Office, retired. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
Friday, last day, of course. So want to ask about all the agencies working together. You know, you were commander of the jail and as captain there. You know, obviously, the jail, you deal with all law enforcement. Do our law enforcement agencies work together well around here?
The criminal justice system in Jackson County works extremely well together. The DA, the courts, the mental health, the local police agencies, community justice, all parole and probation. It's not uncommon to see all of us, the DA, a judge, the community justice director, get together for a meeting to try to solve problems as a group, as what's best for the criminal justice system, not what's just best for each individual agency.
Okay.
So we're very fortunate.
Okay, and that's good to hear. You talked before, you called it a crisis, the lack of space in the jail. Besides the lack of space in the jail, what's the one thing the jail needs most, would you say?
Really, it's space. I mean, that really is. We're doing the best we can with what we have. We try to become innovative. The sheriff has tried some things, and we'll continue to do that to make the jail as efficient as we can with the limited space.
Yeah, you guys, I think maybe in March or February, you guys started I don't know, frequent flyer programs, my words, not yours, but kind of getting those people who are consistently coming back in. Is that working, do you think? I mean, but then again, you're releasing other people to keep them in, right?
It's a small number of people that we're dealing with, but those people create so much paperwork and time for the officer on the street, jail, the courts, the DA filing paperwork. That we're hoping that over time we're going to see a real reduction in some time saving for all those agencies. But it is difficult when you keep one group of people, then you have to release someone else. And as I said before, there are no good choices anymore. It's just there aren't any.
Okay, you said you were born and raised here, and
Yes.
you've been in law enforcement a long time here. As being in charge of the jail, how many, what percent would you say of the people involved in the jail, people, of course, staying in the jail, I think, connected to drugs in some way?
My guess would be, and some of the studies have borne this out, is around 80% have some relationship to drugs, whether it's the guy that does or gal that does the burglary to get money for drugs, or they're actually in possession of drugs or buying drugs.
All right. Good to see you. Congratulations
Okay.
on your retirement.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for what you've done for the
Thank you
county.
for having
Appreciate
me.
it. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back.